unfocus. I'm sorry. Alrighty, hello, welcome to another video. So, my friend Heidi over at Heidi Chick Reads did the Do I Have That Book challenge, and she tagged me in it. There are 20 questions, so there are 20 books that I'm supposed to find, and I've written them down in my notebook, so yeah. The thing with this challenge is that you have to beat the time of the person who tagged you. I don't remember what her time was. I'll flash it somewhere on the screen. I know that it was around 8 minutes, so I'm going to try to beat 8 minutes. I don't think that's going to happen though. So, yeah, we're going to try. I've got my timer on my phone, and we're going to try and do this, okay? Okay, cool beans, man. Okay, and start. Okay. So, I had to try and beat Heidi's time. That's part of the challenge. You have to beat the time of whoever tagged you. This was her time. And this is my time. So, yeah. We're not going to talk about it. So there are 20 prompts, I guess you could call them, 20 prompts, and so we're going to go through them. Prompt number 1, do you have a book with deckled edges? The answer is yes, I do, and the book that I chose for this is this beautiful edition of A Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens. I got at Books A Million. If you know me, you know I love Books A Million, so most of these books were bought there. So, yeah, as you can see it? You can kind of see it. It's got deckled edges. I have yet to read this book because I'm horrible. So, yeah. Prompt 2. Do you have a book with 3 or more people on the cover? The answer is yes, I do. Now, this is actually perfect timing because I literally just got this book. But it is The Host by Stephenie Meyer. I know, it's Stephenie Meyer. I'm hoping that it's just the fact that Bella's annoying in Twilight and not Stephenie Meyer's writing. I'm really hoping it's that. So I'm gonna try and give this a go, and we'll see, I guess. Also, I should say, I don't really know what this one's about. If I know what the book is about, I will give you a brief synopsis, but I don't know what this is. I would like to keep myself in the dark. I want to be surprised here, okay? Okay. Prompt number 3. Do you have a book based on another fictional story? Again, the answer is yes. Cinder by Marissa Meyer. This is a reimagining of Cinderella. Everybody knows Cinderella, okay? Okay. The twist to this is that it's sci-fi. That's crazy. So Cinderella is a 16-year-old cyborg in this book. So that's crazy. It's interesting. I don't know what else to tell you. Prompt number 4. Do you have a book with a title that is 10 letters long? The answer is yes. Yes, I do. It took some hunting, as you saw, but I have Curiosity by Paul Jenkins. Do I know what this book is about? No. Was it a 100% impulse buy because I saw it at Dollar Tree and just, it looked interesting? Yes. Absolutely. So, yeah. Prompt number 5. Do you have a book that starts and ends with the same letter? The answer is yes. Again, I do. It is Twilight by Stephenie Meyer. I know, I've talked about this book series way too much on my channel. For someone who is in a love-hate relationship with it. I won't deny it. Sometimes I love it. Sometimes I hate it so much I want to burn it in a dumpster fire. Because it kind of is a dumpster fire. But what are you gonna do? If you don't somehow know what Twilight is about, I don't know how. Maybe you should save yourself. Just saying. Twilight is the story of Bella Swan. She is a teenage girl who has moved from sunny Phoenix, Arizona to overcast and rainy Forks, Washington. There she meets the dark and mysterious Edward Cullen, and her life is never the same. Yeah, that's all I really want to say about that. I have a lot of thoughts on this series. Some good, some bad, some hilarious. But I'm not going to share those with you right now. That's for another video. Prompt number 6 is, do you have a Mass Market Paperback? Take a brief break. I had to fix the camera angle. Yes, the answer to this question, this prompt, I guess, whatever it is yes, I do. I have the Mass Market Paperback edition of the novel adaptation of Underworld. One of the best vampire movies, in my opinion, ever. It's up there with Interview with a Vampire. Okay? Okay. I love those. So, have I read this? No. But have I watched the movie like way too many times? Yes. Yes, I have. Prompt number 7 is, do you have a book written by an author using a pen name? Yes. Again, yes I do. We have Clockwork Angel by Cassandra Clare. Cassandra Clare is a pen name. I don't actually remember what her real name is, but it's not Cassandra Clare. I know that much. If you don't know, Clockwork Angel. It's the first book in the Infernal Devices trilogy. This trilogy follows Tessa Gray, who has moved to London, kind of. Pretty much. Yeah. She's moved to London following her brother, coming in to, check up on him and see how his job's going. You know, the huge. And then she gets kidnapped, which is not great. And then she finds out she has this really weird, like, power / ability or whatever. And the people that kidnap her are trying to, like, train her to use it. And, like, that's also no bueno. Eventually, Will Herondale and Jem Carstairs, two angels, honestly, come and save Tessa. And she realizes that the world she thought she knew is, you know, kind of not that anymore. Wow, good job, Cheyenne. Good job. Great. You know how to do this very well. Prompt number 8. Do you have a book with a character's name in the title? The answer to that is also yes. For this one, I chose Where'd You Go, Bernadette by Maria Semple. I don't know much about this book. I want to go into it blind. If you couldn't tell, I haven't read this. All I know is that Bernadette is like a beloved mother and wife and lady in the community, and then she goes missing and people are asking where she went. So it's a valid question, honestly. Prompt number 9. Do you have a book with 2 maps in it? Again, the answer is yes. I have Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. Have I read this yet? No. Did I attempt to? Yes. Was I in the middle of a reading slump when I tried to read this chunker? Also yes. So, I really need to give it another go, honestly. So, the maps in here. Let's look at those before I forget to show you them. Okay, so, ooh, almost hit myself in the face. Okay, so we have this guy right here, which is like, you know, really extra. And then we have this guy right here, which honestly, looking at these maps in the viewfinder, I'm a little shook. If you don't know, I only know the vague basics of this, but Six of Crows, it's the first book in a duology by Leigh Bardugo. I believe it is like a companion to the Grisha trilogy, which I haven't read. Shocker there. This book follows 6 fugitives. I'm not sure that's the right word. But whatever they are, 6 criminals, whatever they are. They decide they're gonna pull a heist. That's all I know. Prompt number 10. Do you have a book that was turned into a TV show? The answer is yes. In my last video, I said how much I love the Shannara Chronicles TV show. It is gold. I love it so much. So good. The book, I got it because I love the show so much. I love the show. I was expecting the book to be as good, and I think my bookmark's still in here. Hold on. I was on chapter 12, page 120. I made it farther than I thought. Oh my gosh. That's crazy. I'm gonna give you the synopsis of the show.
Hello, I'm editing. Will there ever be like an end to seeing editing, Cheyenne? Hopefully, but probably not, because apparently I'm not that good at speaking when I'm actually legitimately filming the videos. So, I'm here to clear up the Shannara Chronicles explanation, because I just watched it and it's utter trash. So, the Shannara Chronicles, it's a great show, you should watch it. The show follows Will Omsford, who is half human, half elf. He has found out that, magic still exists. They live in a society, a futuristic, like, fantasy, dystopian kind of society, where nobody believes in magic anymore. Which is, like, kind of weird, because all of these people are mythical creatures, but whatever. Will Omsford sets out on this quest to save this tree that has been, basically protecting the elven world, kind of. I guess that's the best way I can explain it. It's been protecting the elven world, the elven kingdom, from attacks from the Dagdamor, which is this fierce, hideous, really mean-looking demon guy who wants to destroy the whole world. So, one day, this tree starts to wither up, which means the Dagdamor is going to show up and kill everyone, and they're like, we can't let that happen. So, Will Omsford gets sent out on this quest with a druid to basically kind of save the world, pretty much. So, yeah. It's a great show. I highly recommend watching it. I have not watched season 2. I'm ashamed to say it because I forgot it was on, and we tried to record it, and then, you know, I didn't get all the episodes. So, oh well. Back to the video.
Number 11. Do you have a book written by someone originally famous for something else? The answer to this is yes, of course. The Reason by Lacey Sturm. Lacey Sturm was the lead singer of Flyleaf, a Christian rock band, one of my favorites. Highly recommend you listen to them. Best album in my opinion is Memento Mori, but you know, feel free to listen to all of it. This book basically details Lacey's life. This is her testimony, how she found Jesus and repented and started to, you know, live her life spreading the word of God, which, you know, it's cool. Highly recommend it. It was very good. Jordan Clark, now Jordan Rubino, I believe. She did a lot of illustrations, and I love them, and, you know, they're great. So, prompt number 12 is, do you have a book with a clock on the cover? Alas, the answer to this is no, I do not. I tried with all my might to find just one book with a clock on it, but I couldn't find one. I could have sworn that I had one, but I guess I was wrong. So there's that. Prompt number 13. Do you have a poetry book? Why, yes. Yes, I do. Once again, yes. If you've watched my videos for a while, you probably thought I was going to pick The Witch Doesn't Burn in this one because that's the only poetry book I've ever really talked about. However, the selected poems of Emily Dickinson. Oh my gosh, yes, we stand a queen. Emily Dickinson should be appreciated. That's it, that's all I have to say. This is a collection of poems by Emily Dickinson. One of my favorite poets. Possibly my favorite poet, like of all time. But you know, whatever. Read her poetry, please. It's very good. Highly recommend it. Please, go do it. Number 14. Do you have a book with an award stamp on it? Why, yes. Yes, I do. A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness. There are 2 award stamps on this book. There you go. You're welcome. Monster Calls follows Connor, who's a 12-year-old boy whose mother has been diagnosed with cancer. And so, while she's battling this disease, he is picking up the slack around the house and doing for her what she can't really do right now. And so, while he's doing that, he's also dealing with the fact that the kids at school are treating him differently because his mom has cancer, and it's very frustrating for him. One night, the monster comes a-calling, and he strikes up a deal. He's going to tell Connor 3 stories, and then Connor's going to tell him a 4th. Connor doesn't know what that story is. At least he claims that. The monster comes around to help Connor accept some truth that he has refused to admit to even himself. And it's a very tough pill to swallow. This book deals with grief and anger and resentment in a way. In such a realistic way. And I will never stop trying to get people to read this book because it's just so good. Please read it if you have not already. Number 15. Do you have a book written by an author who has the same initials as? The answer is yes, surprisingly. I didn't think this would happen. My initials are CB. So, the book that I found is Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. That's right, a CB. This is great. So, Jane Eyre. As you can tell, I'm in the middle of reading it, hence the bookmark. It's about this girl who is orphaned, basically. She lives with her aunt. Her aunt is a horrible person. Ships her off to a boarding school. The boarding school, not the best place. Eventually, the boarding school gets fixed up. Thank goodness. And, Jane ends up becoming a governess over here at this cool place called Thornfield Hall. You know, good times, Mr. Rochester. He's pleasant, I guess. I don't really know how else to describe this book other than that. That's kind of all I've really read of this book so far. I started reading it because I watched the 2011 adaptation with Maya Wasikowska, I think that's how you pronounce her name, and Michael Fassbender. So it was a good time. I really enjoyed it. It's pretty good so far. I'm on chapter 11. So, yeah. Number 16. Do you have a book of short stories? To that I say yes. Yes, I do. Surprisingly, the answer is yes to most of these things. The stories of Edgar Allan Poe. They're short stories. What I would consider short stories anyway. I think what most of the world considers short stories. Yeah. I don't know how to describe this one. It's just a book of short stories written by Edgar Allan Poe. I haven't read it yet. Surprising, I know. But I hope it's going to be a good time when I do. Prompt number 17. Do you have a book that is between 500 and 510 pages long? To that, I say yes. Well, I think this one counts anyway. I have Clockwork Prince by Cassandra Clare. This is exactly 500 pages. So, it counts. It works for this, okay? Okay. This is the second book in the Infernal Devices trilogy. I already explained what this trilogy was, so I'm not going to do that again. But what I will say is read it, please. I like it. It's great. Prompt number 18. Do you have a book that was turned into a movie? Yes, I have a lot of books that were turned into movies, actually. The one I'm picking, though, for this question, prompt, challenge, thing, whatever, is The Book Thief by Marcus Zuzak. This is currently still on my TBR for summer reading. You will see that I think I will only do a big old summer reading wrap up. That will be fun. I will do that. That's gonna... Yeah. Anyway, I don't really know much about this book. I know that there is a book thief, hence the title. I also know that it's told from the perspective of death, so that's very interesting. I'm excited to read that. What else do I know about this book? It's a historical fiction. That's it. Sorry. Number 19. Do you have a graphic novel? Alas, no. I have lots of comic books, and by lots, I mean at least 10. I have some manga, but do I have a graphic novel? No. Have I read graphic novels? Yes, I've read several. They were all great. I highly recommend checking out some graphic novels. It's a good time. But I don't know anything And last but not least, prompt number 20. Do you have a book written by 2 authors? To that, I again say yes. Beautiful Creatures by Cami Garcia and Margaret Stoll. This is a Southern Gothic. I still have a bookmark in here. You know why? Because I've never finished it. This book follows Evan. He lives in, I believe it's Georgia? Don't quote me on that. Editing Cheyenne will fact check me, okay? Okay. New girl moves to town. He's intrigued. Everyone says, hey, leave her alone. She's really weird. Just don't get involved. And he's like, no, she's just a person. And you all are alienating her just because she is different. I will befriend her. And so he does. And it turns out that she's not normal, and he is apparently not normal, and craziness ensues, I guess. From what I remember, I was enjoying this book when I was reading it. I don't know why I do know why I stopped. I was taking too long to finish it, and I just needed to move on. So, yeah. That has been the Do I Have That Book challenge.
We love a good filter. So it's editing a Cheyenne again, if you couldn't tell. As I was editing this, I realized I never tagged anyone. And tagging people is kind of the whole point of these games, you know? So Hannah, all things Henny, consider yourself tagged.
Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to hit that like button so, you know, I know that you liked it. If you would like to, you can subscribe right down there. You can also hit that little notification bell, and that will notify you of when I upload new videos. I try to upload weekly, but you know, sometimes life happens. And, you know, I don't know, sometimes I try my best. That's all I'm gonna say. I try my best. Once again, thank you for watching, and I will see you next week. Bye!